Hello there. This is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Today I'm going to talk about three major factors affecting a woman's choice. Now, one of the things I've talked about in several videos and I talk about in my books, the whole idea that women's divide men into select and non-select categories for sex, relationships, and dating. And truth be told, they even separate. Even if some women, if they can keep their platonic friends just to a select category, they'll do it. Now, what I've given, like when I talk about the select, is general. Some of the select are good looking. More of them have, money and status, and basically the non-select lack those things. But really, those are very general things. I mean, you can't really apply just that basic thing to how women are choosing and think it's just that simple. It really isn't. Now, I explain it, when you explain something in a general way, yeah, you kind of simplify, you don't get deep. But I'm gonna get a little bit deeper. It still can go into a lot of things. See, a woman's list. Women have notoriously long lists, and half the time they don't share that with any man. They don't even share it with their friends. Half the time they don't know what the fuck's on that list any damn way. It's so damn long. But anyway, today I wanted to get into three major factors that will affect a woman's choice and how she places a man into the select and non-select. Three major ones. Now, like I said, every single woman has, that list. And they're going to have different things that they want depending on their circumstances. But I want you to factor in these three things as something that a woman's going to take into consideration as she's placing you in, different groups. Now, the first factor is race. Like it or not, that's going to affect a woman's choice. And I don't even mean in terms of just interracial dating, even though that is a factor, but just even within their race. Most women, most men, most people, they're going to have a natural attraction to someone of their own race. And I know a lot of people don't want to get into it deep, or they talk about love is blind. It's like, no, that's just a natural thing. People who are going to all men are going to have an attraction to women who resemble the women in his family, be it either physically or in character traits. All women going to have that same natural attraction. Now, it don't always work out that way because of several other factors can come in. And then if people have negative relationships with the opposite sex folks in their families, they will make a conscious decision not to deal with them. But I'm gonna tell you how deep it is with that little part, and that could halfway be another video. A person might not necessarily go for, you know, well, I'll use an example. Say, you got a black man and he got real issues with the women in his family. So he said, I'm gonna get an Asian woman. I guarantee, even though she physically looks different, she's going to start expressing some personality traits the same as the women in his family. And he's not going to see it at first because he's just seeing her out of shell. And that's how deep it is. And it's the same thing with men. But like I said, that's something worth going into a deeper video. I'll hit that later. But anyway, that's a major factor. The race is a major factor. I know people, they don't want to discuss it, and they think, oh, we're all human beings. No, it's a factor. You know, so that woman, when she's choosing a man, she's going to take his race into consideration, even if she's dating interracially. Even if she's a white woman who says she only wants Hispanic men, that she's taking it into consideration. So that's going to be a factor. The next factor is social class. See, it's funny that you hear that word hypergamy thrown around a lot, but hypergamy really means a woman trying to marry into a social class higher than hers. But the reality of hypergamy is it's not really practiced by the overwhelming majority of women. Let me say that again. It's not practiced. A lot of men try to say women are practicing, but the overwhelming majority of women can't practice. Even if they wanted to, they can't. Why not? The only way a woman moves up in social class is if she's very attractive. So a woman can do that if she is very attractive. We have instances of women actually doing that. Anna Nicole Smith. Is possible, but they have to be they got to be at the higher level of beauty and sex appeal. So for the rest of the women in the population, the other 97% of the population, they're going to marry somebody of a similar social class. And see, the reason why is not so much they want to move up or they don't like where they at or anything. It's just that they're going to have similar values. See, a lot of times when people talk about relationships and relationship discussions, and I've actually did a video where I said I don't really like talking about relationship solution discussions. I don't like participating in them anymore. That's because in an author that I actually did a video on, George Sabiro, and he wrote the book Money Issues in Black Male-Female Relationships. He specifically said in there that any black relationship discussion, and I'm paraphrasing right now because I don't have the book in front of me, but any black relationship discussion that does not take into consideration class or class aspirations is a joke. And that's all the way around. That's not even a black thing, because I especially see it in white communities. And from what I've observed of Hispanic communities, I've seen it, and I've seen it in with Asians that I've known. People marry the same. Most people will marry within their social class. So when a woman is choosing a man, she's really looking for somebody of similar values, social economic values. If she grew up in a working class home where the father just went out, maybe a 2-parent family, the father worked a regular 40, 50 hour a week job, and for on weekends and some, every other weekend they might have a cookout. They go to church regularly and watch the game, all that nice middle working class stuff. That's what that woman's gonna look for. Now she might see somebody physically attractive who's not in their social class or something, depending on how fine he is. She might try to get with him depending on her social mores or her sexual mores. But for a long-term relationship, she's looking for somebody who's trying to go to the cookouts too. Be out there in the middle of winter cooking out or something. Somebody who can hang, somebody who can go to, play a hand of spades and with Uncle Junior in them. Or if they are upper social class, upper middle class, something like that, or even, affluent, they're looking for that. That's why I always say that thug thing is overrated. Now, I might say something about women chasing thugs for reference or bad boys for reference. But if you around a lot of women who are like upper middle class to affluent, they don't really mess with any thugs. You might get one instance every now and then, but for the most part, they not going there. They gonna stay within their social class. I remember I knew this young lady, lived in my building back in the day, fine as shit. I mean, all the brothers, workers, everybody was checking her out. She wasn't fucking with none of us. Even some of the brothers who had educated and stuff. That's because she was a black woman and she was part of that quote unquote black elite. She wasn't fucking with nobody who was outside of that. And she went on a date with some dude, and they were clowning the dude because they were like, man, why he messing with? Why she messing with him? And I was just like, I could tell. They were in the same social class. So a woman regardless of her race, she's looking for that similar class, even if she ain't consciously doing it. Now, they, like I said, the exception, if she's extreme, usually is like this. The exception is usually going to be an extremely attractive woman who come from an extremely poor background, even destitute background. Because if she figure, usually women who are born in those circumstances, one, their sexual mores are way looser. And oh yeah, that's a definite video right there. You know, any woman is born in a loose sexual environment like that, or like very poor environment, even some men going to have loose sexual mores. Because one thing about middle class, there's also a certain level of behavior that keeps them in check. Wow, I think I got about 3 or 4 videos out of this covered, because it's actually some deep stuff with that. Now, but that woman, she born in that poor environment. She trust me, she got a motivation to get out. Just like you got some dudes who born in that environment, they got athletic ability. They might be the hardest workers trying to get out that environment. Well, other than like maybe WNBA, women don't have that same thing. And if they're attractive, with the power of that vagina, they can change their social class instantly. But like I said, everybody else, they're gonna stick with their social class. Now, that's 2 major factors: race and class. The third major factor, and really in many ways it's subtle, and it's something else that no one talks about in relationship discussions, but we have to talk about it, and that's religion. You can't separate however version of God that woman worships. She usually is checking for a guy who's the same thing. In fact, I know a youngin, very attractive youngin. She just married this dude, and but this dude's like all in the church. She was all in the church. And I know another young lady. I like messing with her, but she's one of those hardcore Christian type of young ladies. I like messing with her. I always joke with her. I say, hey, you meet that Muslim brother yet? And she'd be like, stop playing, Ron. Stop playing. And I'll be joking with her about she got to give up pork and whatnot. But basically, if that man ain't worshiping the same way, in her particular style, she ain't messing with him. And she's adamant about that. And most women, only time they kind of go beyond whatever their religious beliefs are. Only time they go beyond that if the dude is just that fine and just click with him on that level. And what they might try to do then is convert him. Because like and this is something like with a lot of I've noticed this with mainly a lot of black Christian sisters. And they get that bad boy or something, that cute bad boy, they try to save him. And that can be a factor also with whatever. They could be Muslim. They can be, what people derisively call hoteps. They always going to try to convert them. But see, that's going to be a factor. And see, that's also a factor in the type of men they consider alpha. Even though I don't like using that term. See, the alpha, if you in a Muslim community, the alpha might be that devout brother who's praying 5 times a day. Or in certain black, like we'll use black Muslim communities, there's about 20, 30 of them any damn way. Whatever the top men are supposed to be doing in it, that's going to affect it. In churches, you got a lot of women, they looking for that preacher type. So that's going to affect it. Like years ago, I remember I was on this message board and it was a big discussion. Because at the time it had a bunch of it was a bunch of Christian sisters, like devout Christian sisters, and there were a bunch of brothers on there who were into Kemetic spirituality, which people will call them hoteps now. And at the time they just called them Kemits. And one sister, she had a very provocative thread. She said she was asking the Christian sisters, would you date a Kemet? And most of them, here's the interesting thing: most of them admired the brothers, admired the traits, and just before pictures and stuff. So they imagined they were fine and everything, just on how they were talking. Or, their imagination was going, but they said, "Nah, I wouldn't marry them because they ain't Christian." So that affects a lot too. So those factors. So now like, and one of the reasons I brought this up, because sometimes people think it's just money or it's just being good looking. But if you good looking and you ain't the right race, it don't mean anything. Or you not in the same social class, and the woman doesn't have enough incentive to try to get past that social class. That makes a big difference. And the religion piece, that's big. That is real big. In fact, that's something I really do need to do another video on, but is it deep because it's such a personal subject. But it's going to affect how that woman looks at a man. Even to the point of how she interacts with him, because you still have some Christian sex, a lot of Muslim sex, and let me say that, I know I'm talking in my country tone, but sect that might have some relationship protocols that a woman is not going to violate. So it's going to play a role. It's a big factor. So anyway, when you thinking about, just think about what I'm saying in this video. It's more than just the looks and the money. There's other things, and even the things I mentioned, race, class, and religion. You can still break it down each one according to the woman, to how much that is going to affect her choice. Because there's still more. I just gave you the major ones. I could shoot. If I sat down and thought about it, I could probably do 5, 6, 7, 8 videos and stuff on the different things that affect the choice. And I might every now and then throw out something. But think about those major things when a woman is choosing a man. So anyway, that's it for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.